Hey Instagram, how's it going? Happy Friday. It's the Friday takeaway. We are talking about a subject dear to my heart, creativity, shock, today, specifically how to keep your creative flow with an amazing lady called MJ Jacob from jessie.com. It's going to be a good one today, gang. I'm excited to talk to MJ. She's pretty cool, like as you will see, and it's an interesting topic, especially around the summertime, isn't it? Because our whole rhythm changes, and we're kind of pulled left, right, and center with different things. If you've kids, that's happening. If you've, traveling or staycations or whatever you're doing, that's happening. Plus, on top of it, all the different variations of the world and what we're all dealing with, around the pandemic and everything. All those conversations are happening. So there's loads of fiddly bits that are throwing us perhaps off our creative flow. And I want to talk to Jessie about how to keep your creative flow today. So if you're struggling with that, this is going to be a good one for you. But first, a check-in to see how your week went and to share how my week went. It was a pretty wibbly wobbly week. My daughter turned 11, which I was very happy to have her birthday, and we went off, well I didn't, but she went off on roller coasters in Tato Park, which was nail biting stuff to say the least. I'm just so not a roller coaster person, even though I really want to be. I will do it at one point. Feel the fear and do it anyway, Tara. Just, not heights in me aren't good. Does anyone here struggle with heights, or is it just me? Anyway, it's a fear for sure that I'm working on. So it was a wibbly wobbly week in relation to what we're talking about today, which is the flow of our creativity and our work, and keeping that flow going. But life does happen, and so it's all about learning how to adapt to that, isn't it? So who's in with me today? Hey Elkie, MJ's there already, on the ball Elkie, or on the ball Elkie, on the ball MJ. I saw Elkie's first name there. I'm going to bring you one now, MJ, and we'll get talking about this stuff. Hey Vivienne, how's it going? Hey, my big fat hat. That's, Ginny Mac, it's hard when it's all one word, isn't it? Oh, good to see a few V in there now. Oh, hey Julie, Dingle Druid, how's it going? Lovely to see a few V in. Thanks for joining me today. And if you're watching the replay, let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from. It's always nice to see where you're from. And gang, where are you all from in here? I know there's a lot of heads that I know from different parts of Ireland, but if you're not, and even if you are, where are you in Ireland? And if you're not as well, what country are you tuning in from? Right, we're going to get this lady. Before I bring her in though, I'm just going to show her off a bit, because she's pretty cool and she's a lot to say, and she has gone through a huge journey to get where she is with her business. And she's just won the Waterford Businesswoman of the Year, which she is delighted about, and which is such a brilliant thing to win, isn't it? When we win things, and it's like we don't need them to do what we do, but it's just that external validation from other people. It feels good, doesn't it? And it gives you that momentum to keep going for sure. So she's really done so many things and has so many plans for the future, and she's just like, there's so much going on with Jessie, and I'll let her share her gold with you today on how she keeps her flow with her creativity. But she's brilliant. Her leggings are amazing. My daughter loves her leggings. She lives on a boat, which I think, how cool is that? Like, I'm there, Matt, can we move and live on a boat? No, Tara. So I'll bring Jessie on there now, and we'll get going with this live. I'm looking forward to this, and we'll jam this one out on no chips, that's for sure, on this call. I hope now we'll connect up, Jess. Oh, there you are. Hello.
Hiya, Tara.
How's it going?
Good, and hello to everyone who's joined. I saw a couple of people I know there, Liv and Elkie, and a few more. Hi.
I know they're great, and it's lovely to know a few heads that are watching. It's always great, and I must say, I was like, "Gee, Jessie, you're on fire, girl! Sharing all the well done." I got the email, I got the post, the story. I was like, "Fucking
I'm
brilliant!"
learning. I'm learning. It's the Bite the Biscuit, the factory. I'm learning, and I'm trying to get in there.
Good for you though, and it really does work. Like, it really does. I've gotten loads of messages. People were saying, "Oh, I saw Jessie's post." I was going, oh, "Shit, I took my game there." Like, you're putting me under pressure, Jessie. But
Oh,
that's definitely being in a community where we're all really active on that inside the biscuit factory, which is not Bite the Biscuit, by the way, because a lot of people think it's Bite the Biscuit, but it's actually the Biscuit Factory, which is a separate group, a smaller group, isn't it, Jessie? And we're in there really talking about this stuff all the time, aren't we?
yeah,
It
yeah.
makes you
Very
pay
much
attention.
helping each other, and yeah, it's a big group that if you've got a question on something, you're going to get 15, 20 replies helping you out. It's great.
Yeah, very
Mm.
specific to the business side of what we do, right? It's really specific to that. On that note, winning Waterford Businesswoman of the Year, like how good did that feel?
Really good. Thanks, Tara. No, I'm absolutely delighted. It's totally chuffed. Very surprised.
Were you
Yeah,
surprised, Jess? Were you?
I was. I wasn't expecting it at all, and yeah, it was a big. I was out in the middle of nowhere in the countryside when I had to join up a Zoom and found out, and ended up like nothing to burn energy off, so went and climbed a wee mountain and just with a miniature bottle of prosecco to go. Well, I have to do something now.
Yes, I love that up a mountain.
Oh,
Oh,
hello, hello.
amazing, amazing. That's brilliant. Fair play to you, girl. And it's just, because I know a lot of people, even in the Bicky group, and a lot of creative people that I talk to, which is really relevant to your story, have gone through some kind of shitty time or trauma or depression or something really traumatic has happened in their lives that has kick started a project or an idea or that flow of creativity. And tell us a little bit about what happened to you, Jess.
So, in 2016, my back went out. I herniated two discs, and just from one day to the next, I couldn't move. So I had been working before then, and I was actually about to immigrate. That
Right.
didn't happen. Yeah, just I couldn't move. So it took kind of 2 years between doctor's appointments, surgery, recovery, the whole thing. And yeah, I mean, everyone has their stuff, Tara. And I'm sure, we know everyone has stuff that goes wrong in their lives. And and I think when everyone realizes that, you can have a lot more empathy for everyone around you. Yeah, so and I feel very lucky that I'm no longer in bed,
Yeah.
because I'm very lucky it was a short-term thing, because some people don't, have to deal with things on a long-term basis.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I ended up drawing, because it was the only thing I could really do in bed, and because I've kind of been an artist my whole life, and then I couldn't wear anything because it hurt, so I ended up drawing funky leggings for myself, because there is nothing to make you cry more than buying a cheap pair of leggings and pulling them on for the first time, and the elastic band seam ripping from the rest of the leggings. And let me
No.
tell you, you will not feel any worse than that. So I was like, nope,
No, not doing this.
not
Forget
doing
it.
it. So that's how it all began. Yeah.
So you make amazing, like really high-end leggings, like they're really good quality. I mean, my daughter has worn hers when she got hers, and she's out and about climbing trees, and like I'd say if you tried to tear them, you couldn't. Like, they're just durable, like, and really cool as well. They're so, so
Yeah.
comfy.
Well, it took me ages to find kind of leggings that would be that durable, because my main thing is I design them. So everything on them is hand drawn and designed by myself.
Yeah.
I get professional sewers to actually sew them, because you don't want to be in anything that I've sewn.
Yeah.
Um, I know where my limits lie.
Yeah.
But they're fantastic. My first pair that I made in 2016, I'm still wearing them.
Yeah. They're
You know,
long,
and
long. Yeah. That's
it's a good
brilliant.
idea. We don't need stuff that we throw out every 4 months, you know,
That's
like,
right. That's
yeah.
right. And I think the whole focus is going towards that, Jessie, isn't it? Like, is people want
Mhm.
long-term clothing, like that you
Well,
can,
it's an
yeah,
investment. Yeah,
yeah,
you get to a point where you're like, I could buy something cheap every couple of months, or I could buy something really nice and still be wearing it, you know, and you know, those big pieces in your wardrobe that you
yeah,
just, yeah. I'm not
yeah,
much of a wardrobe person, but yeah,
yeah.
I have those pieces.
And I think it's interesting from a legging perspective because it's active wear, like it's stuff that you put on every day that you're out and about in, rather than that I wear that to a wedding piece, which is something quite different, isn't it? But I think your stuff is just, it's just so wearable, and you know, it's just brilliant. They're amazing, an amazing product, and it came from that need, and that's all about business, isn't it?
Yeah,
We figure out there's a problem here. Like, well, why can't I get up off my hole, literally, and do something
and
about
solve it.
it and solve the problem? And that's what
Mm-mm.
business is all about, gang. It's solving those problems for people. So today, because I wanted to get you on today because you did a talk already on how to keep your creative flow. How did that
Yes.
go, and where was that, and what did you talk
That
about?
was with that was with Network Ireland, here in Waterford, and oh, thank you, Crystal.
Thanks,
Um,
Leslie.
And yeah, so I did a workshop with them because my background is workshops. I used to do workshops mostly focused in mental health settings, so like hospitals, psychiatric wards, children's wards, that kind of thing, and daycare centres. And I really enjoy it because I suppose for me, art is like maths or a language or anything. You're not born with an innate talent, or anyone can learn, you
Mm,
know, and you also don't have to be amazing at something to enjoy it. And so I think sometimes, anyway, so yeah, I did the workshop with Network Ireland. Sorry, tangent.
that's
Uh,
okay. Tangents are
and
welcome in this world.
so yeah, we were doing a workshop on basically how to use kind of our creativity to get things done within a business setting, and how to kind of focus on our goals, but through kind of creativity and drawing as opposed to through words and lists. Uh,
Mm,
and it went really well. We had so much fun,
mm.
and kind of what it's about, really. Yeah.
Yeah. So what would be the structure then? Like if I was sitting down going, okay, I'm going to bring creativity into my business, not
Mhm.
from I'm going to draw something to create a product or a piece of work to try and sell it, but from a process perspective of running a business. How would
Mhm.
you guide people, or what did you talk about on the workshop?
Well, the workshop itself was very much kind of, we did a load of kind of drawing exercises and
Yeah.
things like that. It was very much doing.
Yeah.
But generally with creativity, it's kind of like especially with this kind of idea of flow, because I
Mm,
used to, okay, so another side tangent.
yeah.
I did my master's on creativity and the educational kind of things you get by being creative, specifically within comic books and mental health was my focus. So my whole thesis was a comic book. Um, and
Cool.
in,
Where is it? Is it published? Is
it's
it?
online. I can put a link in
Yeah,
my
do,
link,
do.
and I'll put a link in there on the link in bio thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and in it I discussed and I figured out a lot about this idea of flow. So flow is something we hear a lot with athletes, and it's like the 10,000 hours of doing something and then you can just do it. And there's a lot of different kind of talks about this concept of flow. But the way I explain flow is, you know, when you're doing something and you're just there doing it and you forget to have lunch or you forget to go to the bathroom and you're just totally in it. And next thing your head goes up and you're like, oh my God, is that the time?
Yes.
That is the idea of flow, and anyone can have it in it. And people say musicians, artists, athletes, whatever you're doing, if you're really into something and you start ignoring all the other bits, you know, oh, lunch didn't happen, tea didn't I just was so into this, and that's flow, and that's beautiful, and it's hard to get into, but it's great when you're there and you need to grab it. So I suppose the thing with kind of creativity is you have to leave it the space to breathe. If you're always being kind of like very strict on what you're doing, which you have to with the business. But if you don't take any time off, you're not giving yourself time to kind of breathe kind of your mind or whatever. So even things like doodling. Remember when we had phones on walls and you would like be on the phone call and you would doodle and you'd cover this page in just these random doodles?
Yeah.
It's so good for your brain.
Okay.
It's so good for you. It's that creativity, and that's where people say, I can't draw. Everyone can draw, everyone can doodle. And it's really good because it makes your brain actually switch off for a moment and rest and just focus on this one thing. And it's the same with coloring in, and you know, it's that it's not go get a canvas and be an artist. It's literally embrace kind of things like doodling along a margin, or take 20 minutes and color something in, and it just really relaxes you and really kind of makes you focus on one thing, so all of this stuff is gone.
Would you recommend doing that, Jess, like as a morning practice before you sit down to do all the businessy stuff, or mid kind of day, or should there be even a, see, I'm putting structure on it again, I'm just thinking of my calendar going, where would I put it, like, you know, or should you just, when you're feeling like, oh, I have to sit down and write a bloody blog now, like, or, you know, schedule in my social media posts, or work on my sales page, or my email marketing, or all that stuff that we have to kind of nail every week, should that be part of that? Like, should that, I'm going to doodle now to just get my mind ready for the next thing? Would you recommend to do that?
So I think it depends on the person, Tara, because I think some people need to be very structured and some people can't work that way. So I go through kind of phases where I'll have like 3 weeks and everything is organized and structured. And then I'll go through 2 months where everything is a mess and I'm just dealing with it.
2 days, like.
Oh God, no. And then I have to get back on the thing and get back into the stuff. So I mean, some people love and they're quite organized generally. And in that case, yeah, find a time that for you, you know, you're doodling, or you can doodle while doing something else. I love putting, you know, finding music you really love and just, you know, listening to the music and doodling. Or if you're listening to a podcast or something like that, or, you know, just like sometimes even things like just scribbling out your frustration. If you have kids, it's a great thing to do with them. You know, to sit down and it's just getting energy out on the paper.
That's interesting, because I know a lot of people are struggling with kids all over the shop now, at home and holidays, and that does, as I was saying on the intro, that really throws our flow of work, like, you know, or you know, even that creativity, like, you know, of, you know, it mightn't be the businessy side, but your actual flow of painting or creating, when there's kids that want all that attention. And I think, you know, I'm working really heavily on, you know, being in the now and not thinking too far ahead, and, you know, and that's interesting. I like that, of taking your kids with you, with that thing that's
definitely,
you, and just scribbling it out, like.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I've a great video actually on that, on how to do it. Like it was I did it during the pandemic, obviously, wherever a lot of people are suffering with anxiety, and it's a really great exercise that I highly recommend people. It's in my link in bio on the it was called Tranquil Thursdays, and it was meditation drawings that I did for kind of during lockdown for people. And one of them is that you get your frustration, your anxiety, you scribble it out on the page. And then I show you how to do a type of a spiral that really gets you to concentrate. So what you're doing is you're taking your anxiety out and you're just tying it up. And it's a lovely, and it's great for kids as well.
That's
definitely check it out.
I love that. So it's the energy, fast energy, and then slowing it all down for a thing. Anyone on the live gang that does that kind of stuff, hit me in the comments and let me know, yes or no. Do you kind of do that kind of exercise, or, you know, even with kids, if you do that, or if anyone has something to share, I'd love to hear in the comments if you have anything to add to that. But I love that, Jessie. It's that using our pen and paper, our pencil and paper, rather than, you know, because for me, meditation, while I love the theory of it, and I admire everyone that does it. I find it really challenging to stop the the head, and I love
Hi, Kato.
I love that because it's I
Mm-hmm.
like moving all the time, and you know, there's so much energy there. Like I just, and Cora as well, you know, Cora that has the mindful mug, that's the same kind of adaptation of that, stopping to pay attention to something else, like rather than taking that time to totally meditate, which I will do at some point when I grow up. But
And the thing is as well, like, because I did coloring in pages at one stage, and I know, like, my granny loves them.
oh, just
So, and I had no idea she's into, and now she's been really into coloring since this whole pandemic. But the thing, and she really got it. She was like, I wouldn't sit down and do the whole thing at once. I
yeah,
do a bit, and then I put it away, and I do a bit later. That sometimes we put too much pressure on ourselves, even with this whole meditation or this or that. It's like, I have to
yes,
sit down for half an hour and do this, and it's like, just chill, you know,
just
and
chill.
look
Yeah.
after yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that, Jessie, because there's that expectation a lot, like, and it's only us putting it on us, like, you know, but it
Oh
is
yeah.
there, isn't it? And I think Instagram, you know, ironically enough, we're on it, but it's that feed of the idealistic kind of life of the filtered world that
Ah,
we're
come
in.
here. Like, lads, my office is an absolute state right now. So there you go. I'm definitely
Yeah,
not one of, this is the one wall that's good so that when
yeah.
I'm in professional Zooms, it looks grand. But my place is an absolute state. Now it's clean, but it's not
Yeah,
tidy.
yeah, I know. But like, it's just that I think that's the pressure, isn't it? That definitely I love to kind of push against. Like, you know, I think it's important for us to be real with stuff as well. So I love that, Jessie. I love that those kind of tips on, you know, going back to the doodle bit and allowing that
Yeah.
space for you to reconnect with your creativity when things get a bit heavy or you can't quite get into your flow. Is there anything, like, would you exercise, or would you, like, is there anything that you would find triggers that flow, or is it just the thing that you're doing?
Sometimes it's, yeah, one tiny, tiny space, yeah. Sometimes it's the flow bit, sometimes it just happens. And the thing is, if you can be free enough to grab it and go, right, I'm in this now, and I'm actually able to take this time and do it because I don't have to go pick up the kids, or I don't have to, but sometimes you do. But the other thing is, like, for the doodling and stuff, it's not even like whether you're on the beach and you're making a sandcastle or you're doodling in the sand, and you know, it's just, I think it's taking a moment for yourself. And I think a lot of people who run their own businesses are really burnt out at the moment. Because it's been a really tough 2 years, and especially when, you know, we've been sitting down and watching people make banana bread and sourdough and going, oh, I would love to have the time, but you
Yeah.
know, and I was talking to a lot of people who were burnt out, and I made a decision, and you know about that, where I took 2 weeks off. I turned my phone off for 2 weeks because I was burnt out.
Yes.
And I think it's that kind of thing as well, of like, I think our free time or scheduling time to be off is so important.
Yeah.
And we forget it every once in a while, and then we have to remember again and start
Yeah.
again. But
Yeah.
but you know, it's really important, because otherwise, if you don't give yourself a break, you can't see the wood for the trees,
That's
you
right.
know?
And it goes back to that original conversation around space, like to give ourselves space to actually stop to think, like, you know, because when we're in all the time doing this, even
Yeah.
from a strategic perspective, what am I doing with my business, or what, like, how am I going to get this in front of the right people? Who the feck are they in the first place? If you don't give yourself space to think about those things, you're in the rabbit hole just doing what someone said to do. Just keep doing reels, like, but what does that mean? And have you thought about why you're doing it and where you're sending people and what it, you know, all the stuff we talk about, Jess, in the factory.
Mm.
It's not just the one thing, it has to be the holistic
Yeah.
step
And
to get
sometimes when it's too much, yeah, just turn it off for a while. And
that's
because some
right,
people worry, if I stop, you know,
the whole
and
thing
yeah, if you
goes down.
stop, it'll take a little while for it to get going again. And
Yeah,
that's okay.
that's
You know,
okay.
if you can,
Exactly.
you know, do
Exactly. Exactly. I think you're so right. And I think, even making a point of it, I think as business owners, we almost have a responsibility for each other to make it okay to take the break and Stephen, stop. I'm not doing anything for two. Like, this is
Yeah.
important because if we break, our businesses stop. Like, we've no, like, you don't have someone else to just keep doing this. Like, it's us, like, and that's the reality.
Mm-mm-mm.
So I think you're right. And I think the more we make a topic of this, of like, when is the last time you doodled? When is the last time you stopped and looked out the window and
Or
didn't
you
have,
danced.
yes,
Tara, when was the last time you had a dance?
come on, let's have one now. Oh my God.
No, but like seriously, like the other
Yeah.
day. Oh, I apologize everyone. I'm being very honest here. But I was at my brother's and he put on a song and I was like, I love this song. I danced the crap out of that song. And I was like, I haven't danced in years.
There you
You
go.
know, and it's that kind of it's just giving yourself just that moment, whether it's you're going on a walk or you're hugging the dog or you're playing with your kid, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Creativity isn't making art. You know,
Yes.
if you love to cook, if you look like whatever it is that just kind of relaxes you, makes you happy, that is creative.
Yeah.
You know, I
But
can't
do
believe
more of
these
it, like.
bookkeepers are figuring out how numbers work. Like that's
Oh, no, we
amazing.
can't go into that topic because I'll actually start crying. I'll actually start crying.
Okay. Anyways, drawing.
And my poor accountant is going, I can't find the invoices. Oh, they're there somewhere. Where are they? Oh, the poor girl. Anyway, it has to be done though. And, you know, as you go through those stressful points, like trying to find things, numbery things for your accountant or wherever you are with the stress point, it's knowing your trigger for that creative flow of even getting into it. Like, do you doodle first? Do you go out and just run or dance or put on favorite music? What's your trigger to help you with that stucky bit or that bit that
Yeah.
causes you stress? Like, and being kind to yourself in the process, Jess.
Yeah, and I mean the thing is, like the mindful videos I did, because there's a whole series of them, and they're all on my link in bio or whatever. They come up there,
Mm.
but basically, I they did me so much good
Yeah.
because I had to sit down and do them.
Yes.
I wasn't doing at the time. I was just doing my work drawings, and where I had to sit down and do a meditational drawing, which would take me an hour or two, and then so I took on some really nice music.
Yeah.
Always have a good playlist because that, makes you go. And I just draw, and then I feel so much better afterwards. So actually, like it's quite a selfish thing to do because,
But
like, while I'm sharing it, it was fantastic for me as well, just to sit down and do it.
and that's, I love that you just said that it was a selfish thing for me to do. Let's be more selfish, gang, because we always put ourselves at the bottom of our to-do list. Let's hike that to the top of our list. What am I doing today to
Mm,
feed me, my creativity, my well-being, the space to think, what am I doing? And not a monthly thing or even a weekly, a daily thing. What am I
mm, mm.
doing today? Like we always say in our business, what am I doing today to move my business forward or to sell something or to whatever it is? But what am I doing for me today? Like
Mm, mm.
10 minutes of doodling. Great.
Well,
That's
that's
all.
it. Instead of scrolling. And like I'm
Yes.
talking about things that I do. I'm not saying like I don't sit down and doodle every day religiously. I
Yeah.
probably should.
Yeah.
But things like sometimes I'll catch myself being a busy fool,
Yes.
as I've told you many times, and I'm
Yeah.
going, what am I doing? I'm getting caught up with social media. I'm
Yeah.
doing all this. I need to get out, take a break. Like even just coloring in a piece of paper in one color. Like it's
Yeah.
not. It's just taking some time for yourself
Yeah.
and showing off.
Which is not directly related to the product or to the thing at the end, because
Yeah.
we all think, but sure, I that's what I do. I'm an illustrator or I color all the time, always. But it not having to be something at the end. It's just movement
Mm.
and whatever you're into, rather than it having to be attached to your work as such. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's really
Yeah.
important. I'm just thinking what will I do? I love the dancing thing. I think that's going to be my next
Yeah.
fun thing.
And I'm looking forward to, because I'm actually in September, hopefully I'm going to be doing a couple of workshops in schools
Are you?
to get them to get into like kind of different ways of looking at drawing.
Yeah.
Whereas stop, because also with drawing, people are like, oh, I'm no good. Oh, this isn't perfect. Oh, it's not about that. It's about having fun,
Well, I know,
having a gig.
and Darcy's mad into drawing. She's really getting in more and more now, getting into the drawing thing. And it's always, I'm not as good as my friend, or I'm not as good as
Send her to Linda Barry.
who?
Look up Linda Barry online. LYNDA BARRY. She's a fantastic woman. She's
Amazing.
brilliant.
Okay.
And she, like, just look her up. I think she's got
Okay.
loads on Tumblr called The Nearsighted Monkey or something. She's great.
Oh, okay. Brilliant. Thanks.
That'll
Because I'm
get rid of that perfectionism.
yeah, vomit like, because and it's funny. Bowie as well. He's like, I have to color in the lines, and then Darcy's like, no, you don't. And myself and Darcy are like, no, you don't. No, no way. Like, you know,
I
it's
got
so
into trouble at
ingrained in
school
them.
for that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
and I'm like, no, like,
yeah.
why? Why did
Like,
they? Why did
yeah,
they?
they used to tell me, like, that's not how you draw a bird, because I would draw a bird with wings and stuff, and they'd be like, no, no, you have to draw an M. That's not a proper bird. And you're going, guys, they're
Yeah,
kids. Who
yeah,
cares? Let them
yeah.
draw birds however they want to draw
Yes,
birds. You
yes.
know,
Well, I'm so happy you're going to be in schools, Jessie, teaching that, and you know, and I think it's important to get the kiddies not to be obsessed with perfection, vomit like. It's not about that. It's so important. So, what next for you? So the bags are out. Your new bags are
yes,
out. You've only a few left, Jessie, right? I mean, they're so cool.
I
They're fun.
do. I've got about, I think there's around 8 of these,
Yeah,
because I only want to do limited runs on them, because then
yeah.
they're just, yours. And I've drawn them all myself. And so there's bags, and I'm already preparing for the dreaded C word.
Oh, good,
But also,
good.
but anyways, also, the month of August, I tend to, everything still gets sent out with the business, but I take a step back from my business because I work 1 day a week with the Waterford Walls International Street
Oh,
Art Festival. And so I do site managing and that kind of thing with them. So that's also, for me, it's a great break. I get to meet other people.
yes.
And yeah, just have a bit of fun. And
Yeah.
I've done snuzzles for them.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, brilliant. Amazing. That
All
would be
good.
great.
That's next.
That's
Beautiful
something
artwork.
that's really just stepping out of your work and doing something fun creatively, right? Around
Yeah.
people. That's brilliant, Jessie.
Yeah.
Ah, that's great. Well, I enjoyed that. That was great. I'm going off, and I would ask everyone that's watching to go off now and do something for yourself. Take 10 minutes, do some doodling, like Jessie was saying, go and dance, drink a cup of tea, whatever it is that just for you, just to take some space out before you go into your next project or task or whatever it is that you're doing, and just
And
take
check
some
out the
time.
videos, because I have a load of them. And then if your kids are stuck at home and it starts raining again, there's a load for kids as well. They're the How to Draw videos. So
Amazing. Brilliant, Jessie. I'll definitely check those out for Darcy as well. Thank you so much. And amazing, and well done on your award. You're brilliant.
thank you.
And all your products and all the things that you do. And it's a pleasure working with you inside the factory. I love working with you. So
Thanks, Sarah. Well,
well,
thanks so much,
well
because it
done.
really helps a lot. Oh,
Great.
thanks.
Thanks, Jessie. Okay, gang. Thanks so much, Jess, for hopping on the live with me today. And I'll see you guys next Friday for the Friday takeaway at 12:30. And have a good weekend. Happy Friday, gang. Thanks, Jessie.
Have a
Bye,
good one.
everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Bye. Bye, Jess.